Do we have any questions today, Captain Joy? Because then I have a couple of questions for people.
Home Guru, Dr. Radhika ji, and thank you so much for sharing all these wonderful verses with us. Now, the question at present is, you say that anger is a gateway to hell. How can we react in proportionate fashion when people attack us then? Surely the gurus do not expect us to be passive and be taken advantage of. In today's world, economic and physical power seems to be more valued and feared than kindness and gentle behavior.
Okay, so the simple question is, how do I conquer anger? And I feel that anger is sometimes justified. So that is mostly we think our anger is justified. Now, uh, there is an appropriate response. So, for example, if you find your child stealing something, are you going to remain passive? No, of course not. You're not going to remain passive. This reaction or this response will come from you because you want the welfare of the child. But the trick here is, so although on the outside you wear this mask of really scolding the child and really meaning what you are saying, but on the inside, the love for the child never changes. It does not lessen. So that is the difference. In the normal world, what happens is we think these others they do not belong to me. My child belongs to me. Therefore, if he makes a mistake, I will be angry from the outside because it is going to be for his betterment. But the inside, I will keep loving him. Now, this response changes when we are interacting with others because we don't think they are ours. Now, that is the illusion. All of this world is in our awareness. We are experiencing this world. It is our experience, so it is us only. Because it is us, therefore, every person in this world is that like that little child who is deluded into thinking that probably I will be happy with stealing. So that other person's behavior is justifying his own stand. But if we are maturing, if we don't want to grow up and mature and evolve and be self-realized, keep reacting, keep getting angry, and keep losing it, and keep thinking it is right. Yes, but no. If you really want to become mature and evolve and go towards self realization, then you have to treat the other person like your own child. On the outside, if you're the boss or if you're a teacher, if you have to get a work done, then you appropriately behave or scold. But on the inside, that anger should not touch your heart. But if you are getting that emotional response, that rage showing all over your face, in your eyes, in your behavior, in your blood pressure shooting up, all those physiological changes happening to you, then there is something to be corrected if you want moksha. If you don't want moksha, it does not matter. But if you want freedom, then you have to see it in the right light. And we have a very clear example from Master's life where there is this story that Swami has told us that, once a particular disciple needed a lot of scolding. So Master, when Master would walk towards that disciple, he would full power of voice, full, anger, the tone of anger with full throw of power, Master would scold that person. And then when he would turn and face the other disciple, he would pretty much smile and kind of wink at the other disciple. So he was untouched completely by the anger that was appropriately needed by another person. So the problem with us is that we get so emotionally involved that we forget that the response should be appropriate. We forget that by getting angry, eventually we are not going to be able to change the other person, but we are only hurting our own nervous system, our own brain. So therefore, on the outside, do the appropriate action. If somebody has to be told to do something, tell them, suggest. No need of imposition because you cannot change the world with your imposition. Rather, take a step back mentally, give space to the other person, give space to yourself, and never allow your heart to be carried away in that anger. And that is possible only if you are a regular meditator. Don't think this will happen automatically. If you have made the effort of regular, sincere meditation, only then you will be able to appreciate the pause that comes between cause and effect. And in that pause, you can choose to withdraw. In that pause, you can choose to act appropriately. Otherwise, you're going to automatically reflect or react back. And that is what the yogi has to control. So practice self-restraint. God knows that we have these problems of getting emotional and getting angry, but God says, please practice self-restraint. So I think that's it for this question. Anything else, Captain Joy?
One more question. Kriya breath removes desire, fear, anger, ignorance, greed, lust, karma. What else can we readily add to this list, please?
It's an unending list. You can act as many number of good things you can add to Kriya Yoga. So means this, why create an intellectual list in the body? If I can talk about starting from neuropeptides to biochemistry to muscle fibers to joints in my body, there's no point. The point is complete physical, mental, in fact even social well-being, because you tend to become more loving and forgiving and less judgmental. And this so beautifully accommodates with, matches the current definition of good health. What is the current definition of good health? The WHO definition. It's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not a mere absence of disease. So everything at the level of the body, everything at the level of the mind and the soul and your social life starts to improve once you start to practice Kriya Yoga. Now, this does not mean that you will not have any physical ailments, because if the physical ailments are still coming to you, means it is the effect of past karma. But then, if you are a Kriya Yogi, you will have the equal mindedness or the even mindedness to go through that event patiently. It will, so the pain may come, but you will not suffer out of that. So Kriya Yoga is, as I said, a one-stop shop. And of course, when I say Kriya Yoga, I'm not only talking of one technique. I am talking of the entire way of life of a Kriya Yogi. That means the entire set of techniques that we have been given, which are multiple, plus the affirmations, plus the chanting, plus the exercises, plus the teachings, plus the service to others, plus the devotion to God, plus all that has been given to us, plus the teachings of the Gita. So that is the way of the Kriya Yogi, not just one technique. So the Kriya Yoga way of life is all encompassing, it is all fulfilling, it is complete in itself, and it guarantees that you will attain self-realization if you follow it appropriately, properly, as given to you by the Guru. Of course, the Guru's grace and God's grace is important, but to invite the Guru's and grace and God's grace, we have to put in 100%. So I think that's it. Yeah.